Hello everyone and welcome back to Movies with Michael. Today I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to rank all 11 live-action Star Wars films from worst to best. And before I do that, go ahead and join me down below in the comments section and tell me, how do you rank all 11 live-action Star Wars films? With that being said, let's jump into my ranking. In last place, without a doubt, we have Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. This is a film that not only makes so many mistakes when it comes to movie making, but also makes even worse mistakes when it comes to being a Star Wars film. The movie doesn't know when it wants to end, it doesn't know how many characters or excessive plot lines it wants to have, it spends a weird amount of time with characters that you do not care about and you don't want to spend any time with, and it ruins Luke Skywalker, and it makes the things about Star Wars that we loved look like a joke. And yeah, so I've watched this movie multiple times. I've tried to think differently about the choices that they made, but I'm not there for any of it. So it comes in at last place, and it is the worst Star Wars film. Coming in at number 10, we have Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. The grand return of the Star Wars franchise to the silver screen after 10 long years is a ripoff of Star Wars Episode 4, and worse in every single way. The film takes the interesting character concept of a stormtrooper going rogue and going against the evil regime of the galaxy and gives it a terrible script, which is up there with the lines of dialogue from Star Wars Episode 2. I do not need to explain to you what I mean by that. And the film's villain, Kylo Ren, I remember when I first watched this film back in 2015, I was really enjoying Kylo Ren whenever he was on screen, but then when he takes off his mask in the third act, you can't take him seriously anymore. Like, you can't, like, there's not any of that mystery or intimidation, which is unfortunate because I love his lightsaber design. I think that's awesome. That alone is the best creative choice that they made with this film. And the movie takes the character arc of Han Solo from the original 3 films and throws it out the door and makes him the jerk rogue character that he was when we first met him in Star Wars Episode 4. A New Hope. So there isn't really much else to say about this film. I really just think it's kind of there, and I don't really think it's special at all, which is unfortunate because it definitely could have been something special, but it wasn't. At the number 9 spot, we have Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, I will say that I think Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, is a better film than this film, definitely, but I enjoy this film more than I did The Force Awakens. This movie is still a botched mess. It makes a ton of lazy writing mistakes, including, you know, the whole, like, somehow Palpatine returned. Come on. But the movie, I liked how it ended Kylo Ren's character arc, and I think Kylo Ren is the best of the new characters, and Adam Driver did the best job out of the actors for the new characters, definitely. Besides that, there isn't really much else to say, and it is where it is on the list. In number 8 spot, we have Solo, A Star Wars Story, a movie that nobody asked to be made, and I don't care for at all. The only thing I will say about this film that I liked, really, that I cared for, is that Donald Glover did do a pretty good job at playing a young Lando Calrissian, and also, I did like seeing, like, the very end scene where he does win the Millennium Falcon from Lando, but besides that, I don't think the movie should have been made, and again, I don't care for it at all. At the number 7 spot, we have Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, this film is a bad film, but I am more interested in what's going on in this movie than I am in any of the sequels or Solo. Qui-Gon Jinn is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. The final fight scene with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan against Darth Maul is one of my favorite Star Wars live-action scenes. The Duel of the Fates soundtrack is one of the best Star Wars soundtracks of all time, and the film does introduce us to the Republic, the Trade Federation, all these different factions competing for different planets, and the movie does reward lore knowledge to make it easier to watch if you are aware of that. But with that being said, I can certainly understand why a bunch of you will have this movie a lot lower on this list than I do. At the number 6 spot, we have Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now, I know a bunch of people have this one at the bottom or second to last or whatever, And this film definitely does solidify my belief that George Lucas, though being a good visionary, he's very good at like visualizing a lot of different things, that does not mean that he's going to be a good writer of dialogue. But the film, I think, does have enough for me to enjoy. Like, Obi-Wan is a great character in this film. This film gives us Jango Fett and Count Dooku, and it sets up what's going to be the Clone Wars. It has a conspiracy going on that Obi-Wan's trying to solve. He's going around talking to different people, trying to solve it. But unfortunately, the main character that this trilogy is setting up is Anakin Skywalker, and the script for him, as well as for Natalie Portman's Padme Amidala, is very, very bad. I feel so bad for each of them that they had to go through that. But over the years, I've gotten used to it, and I've been able to bear it, and it's not unbearable to me as it was before. So there's enough for me to enjoy in this film, and I think it's an okay film overall. At number 5, we have Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith. This film gives us the best action sequences in the franchise. This film's very first sequence, and the third act of this film is jam-packed with quintessential Star Wars action. But unfortunately, the movie's middle act and how it explains that Anakin becomes Darth Vader isn't very convincing, and a lot of it can't really stand on its own, so that's why it is where it is on the list. The number 4 spot, we have Star Wars Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. There are only really two problems that I have with this film, is that the opening sequence where we have to rescue Han Solo, that takes a bit too long, and all the stuff with the Ewoks, again, too much time spent with that. But every single moment with Luke Skywalker, with Darth Vader, with the Emperor himself is awesome. And the fight sequences are awesome as well. And the film does a really good job at ending the original trilogy and is a very good conclusion to the franchise. And I would have been fine if this would have been, chronologically speaking, the last we would have seen of Star Wars on the silver screen. In third place, we have Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Even after so many years since its release in 1977, and there being some silly stuff in there that they were able to get away with back then that they probably couldn't do now, this film is just a good space adventure. It does a good job at setting up the light side and dark side of the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire, and setting up the character of Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, Princess Leia, so on and so forth. And there's a lot of classic sequences in this film, and it's just a memorable film, and there's a reason why people are still watching it even today. Our runner-up by a teeny tiny bit is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. This is a movie that nobody really asked for, but I don't think anyone was expecting for it to be this good as a film. And like, as if you've seen my recent video on this movie, it takes the war that we already knew and de-romanticizes it. It tells you that the rebels are not all so noble-hearted as you might have thought, and not all the Imperial forces are these heartless, evil, malevolent people, if you would have thought that they were. And with all these characters that it introduces and that it quickly gets rid of because they all die at the end, spoiler alert, they're all great. None of them are unbearable. None of them feel like they're trying to be more than they are. And it's just such a great film, and I'm so happy that it was made. At number 1, we have Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This film is a great movie in that it continues what we had from the first film, and it is able to have two different plot lines going on at once. We have the Luke Skywalker plot line where he's learning to become a Jedi, and then we have the Han Solo and Leia plot line where they're falling in love but also trying to escape from the Empire, and they converge at the end. It's awesome, and the film nails every single thing that it goes for, whether it's the Battle of Hoth at the beginning, man, that's good, and the Dagobah sequences with the Yoda, which on paper should not work at all, and the chase sequences through the asteroid belt, and the Bespin sequence with characters like Lando, the cryo freezing chamber sequence, I forgot what it was called there, and the final fight with Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and them escaping at the end. The film nails all of that, and it is, in my opinion, the best Star Wars film we've gotten so far. With that, we have made it to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content about movies, and I will see you all next time.